Hello and welcome to the Week 8 recap for the Division 6C and 6D. With me, as always, is...
Swaho.
Yeah, you can hear how excited he is to do this. Well, it's
I
been...
am, I am, I am excited actually. So don't be so negative.
Yeah, I'm never negative. I mean, we had the game between the top of the division, between Kejerus and Herringsword this week.
Yep.
I think you can all see on screen how it ended. The Camry managed to take the 1-0 win. Shall we start with Herringsword's team?
Yep.
Okay.
Thing is that they are currently in first position, even though the table is showing Pyro TJ to be in first position, but actually he isn't because well Pyro has one game played already.
Yeah, he played
So,
this week already. He couldn't wait for the recap. You know,
yeah.
the guy who's always asking, like, Wednesday, where's the recap? Where's the recap? He can't wait for it.
Yep. And well, let's see. Haringzer's team hasn't really gotten anything extra.
No, it seems like it's just the same as last week.
I tried to score a touchdown on that blitz row, in my opinion, but I think he went with my theory of hey, get a second throw raw and start spamming touchdowns on him till you can get a double. And well, he is 3 SPP from leveling up 2 key players in his arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shall
and
we have a closer look at the game played? Because, or do you want anything to add anything about the players? I think we covered it fairly well last week.
yeah, it's really okay, but the Blitzra did get the MVP, by the way, while Keji's zombies continue to be the MVPs of his team.
Well, that zombie is really close to leveling up. Let's see what he will get next week, hopefully.
Hopefully.
So, shall we dive into the statistics of this game?
Yeah, Camerats had better ball position, better occupation, and less passes, which is unusual for a team that does have a thrower.
Well, not that unusual for a Cambry team.
Yep. Well, yeah, it seems like it was quite a one-sided game, I'd say. I'm not really sure. I didn't watch it. You usually watch Herringsword.
Yeah, I watched it a bit, didn't pay too much attention, but Herringsword controlled the game pretty well, especially his drive. And then Keiji couldn't get through the Camry lines, and that's how we ended with the 1-0 win. We can also see the blocks are fairly even, also the injuries and KOs are fairly even, so nothing big in that regard.
Yeah, but the occupation, the ball position, everything just seems like Herringsword was controlling the pitch, and he is a control team versus a hybrid team, and well, he is controlling it pretty well.
Yeah, as I said, he was in control for basically all of the game, so I think it was a deserved win. He,
Yeah, I think that it was because against you're facing against Keji, who is a good coach, and Herringsor is also a good coach, and they're both like, let's say, the same level of coaches. And this was a pure out like fight, and well, Herringsor won the fight, it seems. And when it comes to SPP, he also got some pretty nice SPP on his players,
yeah,
and yeah, he got a few casualties. I mean, they both got a few casualties, and they both are doing fairly well in general.
But
He just,
what's surprising me the most is if we look at Herring Sword's dice, he failed all of his two dodges and made every single GFI. I mean, at least as far as this season went so far, that's quite interesting.
yeah, he broke armor almost twice as much as he did.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, he failed dodges. Okay, whatever. But like, he had terrible pickups, to be honest. But I guess that most of them were from like starting off the drive and stuff. So yeah, the two times that it did succeed won him the game. He even managed to regen somebody. Let's hope that it wasn't anything serious. And yeah,
Yeah, I think that's mostly covers it. Shall we move on to Kejiro's team?
yeah, Kejurus and the pet and his pets. Well, let's say that Claw Mighty Blow Polygon didn't help.
Well,
Although I believe that
I
he
think he
just got
only just got piling on, so he would have wanted to have that for the game against Herring Sword.
Yeah, I guess he wanted that, but thank Herring Sword he didn't.
Well, thank Herring Sword, now he does.
Yep, and well, Sylvester is yet again close to a level up. Hydra, Oxy, Petites is also 2 SPP to a level up, and his two zombies are really close to level ups as well. So his team has a lot of chances, and also like his werewolf should start scoring and get that mighty blow, because Kejurus is known for getting mighty blow on both wolves.
Well, I think he has stated that he regrets having fired the last werewolf, the one who was at block and tackle, because
Yeah.
Mangussen hasn't been doing that well so far.
Mm-hmm.
But we will see how it works out for him. He's definitely still in the playoff run.
Yeah, but Aquinas is really stacking up. If we look at him, he had 2 MVPs, he had 3 passes, 8 casualties, 4 KOs, 1 kill, 3 crowd surfs. So this guy is just a real star in the making, if you ask me.
Yeah, somebody should definitely foul and kill him.
Yep.
I mean, he has lost one of his flesh golems in the Greenhorn Cup, but I think with a wolf like this, it's time to either play the golem tags or, yeah, maybe something happens to the wolf.
Yeah, and a guy that like was able to, let's say, bash him up a little bit this week, at the week that's currently running but it isn't over, was Pyro TJ, so that lets us kind of transition into him. And Pyro TJ, in the week that are currently recapping, faced the Highland Avengers, just so that everybody knows.
Yeah, he managed to get a win, a 1-0, which isn't bad.
Yeah, leveled up the Chosen Juan. One step too far is really close to leveling up. I'm guessing tackle. Or unless he gets like doubles or something, because guard is still nice, but I feel that tackle is just better.
Well,
As he is a sacker.
He might also go for strip ball before tackle.
Yeah,
but he has a strip ball already, but he also has a tackle already, so it's a tough choice.
if he is going to aim to get to the playoffs, which he is probably, he is currently top seed. Although yet again, I say that the week hasn't played out to its final game, but like he should look for tackle because most of the teams that he's going to face, I believe, are going to be developed to the point that they have a designated ball carrier with sure hands and
True.
blodge. So, and really, like, what's one touchdown for him, especially now that he has the one and only thrower on the team?
I think what's also really important is All for One managed to pick up guard, which is really useful for an elf
Yep.
team.
Yep. And another guy that's really close to leveling up is the big one, who I hope gets block.
Well, I hope for another strength up, but I mean,
Yeah,
you can't ask for everything, so
true. But yeah, the big one is really stretching his leaves around this time around, and let's say that he's doing nice, in my opinion.
yeah, definitely can't complain.
Yeah, the team looks good, and the records are starting to stack up yet again. He won. Well, let's just focus on the Highland Avenger game, but he did defeat Kejirus again. Kejirus has back-to-back losses. That kind of could seal the deal on the first spot for Kejirus, but I'm not sure. Kejirus can always turn it around. But let's go to the Highland Avengers games where he faced McNaughton, if I'm not mistaken, and look at some of these stats.
Oh,
Hmm. So 3 KOs from back to square one, an injury from the Highland Avengers side, but back to square one had more blocks than the Highland Avengers.
oh, that's definitely a curious stat there, because
As
usually you would expect the Jaws to have more
elves,
blocks.
yeah, elves should run around and do elf stuff, and also ball possession from the elves is quite better than the ball position from the Highland Avengers. And yeah, this was an odd game, and even with uh, well, it's 3 blocks more. But is yeah, 3 blocks more. Even with those, like the Highland Avengers got 10 armor breaks, so 2 times the armor breaks. But back to square one, go, and yeah, that is due to armor 7. But the thing that I'd like to say is just that, like, they have a Mighty Blow War Dancer who's probably been hitting hobgoblins the entire game. So it should be a bit closer, but still. And even with this, I think the 10 is a smaller number than it really should be for Chavs. Chavs would go like 43 blocks, let's say, in a game versus elves, and they just have like 15 to 20 something armor breaks.
Yeah, what's also a curious stat is back to square one failed Loner 2 times. So it seems like he spent quite a lot of rerolls on Loners.
Hmm. So, well, yeah, his team was comprised
Yeah,
of loners, and he does have like the big guy as well. But he failed. He managed to succeed his leaps. He didn't fail many dodges, although it is like bad when you look at the stats. It's like if he uh, had 5 fails and 19 successes, that would be completely normal. But this is under the average, and well, even with under the average, he managed to succeed. But the thing that I have to keep in mind, and I guess the viewers, is that Chavs have 6 tackle.
that's true. But wood elves aren't that reliant on dodge working because they have the dancers who could leap, for example, and also usually can keep their important players safe and just offer up the loner linemans to the
The
tackle
thing
chores.
is, the thing is, when you're leaping, you're doing a 3+ without a reroll. The team reroll actually, only the team reroll. And when you're dodging, you're doing it on a 2+. But in certain occasions, you're doing it without a reroll.
Yeah, I mean, the leap is at least useful to get into the cage, so you don't have to dodge through the tackle.
Yeah.
That's one
Uh,
mode I was thinking than just basing it up, because the war dancers can also just punch back at the blockers, which they apparently did, because as we said earlier, they did more blocks than the chores.
he had one dauntless, I guess, and he had one pass and catch, which was okay, I guess. I mean, actually, he had 5 catches succeeded, so he had actually a normal amount of catches succeeding in this game that
Yeah,
had one actual pass in it.
well, probably did a lot of handoffs. He has quite a lot of yards run, so he ran 88 yards across the whole game, which is quite a lot.
Yep, it's quite the number, I'd say. And, well, I guess it's just a game that Pyro TJ took and like drove it in to the end zone. And let's go to McNaughton because I think that McNaughton couldn't do anything that game, if you ask me. He still hasn't played his game, which is nice of him. And he's still keeping that guy with only claw, not trying to feed touchdowns and that guy doesn't have that lucky of a time getting casualties.
Well, I think the Woodles are quite a tough opponent, so you probably won't be in a position where you could feed touchdowns towards him.
Yeah, I guess.
But
And like he doesn't have sure hands on his hobgoblin. And he doesn't have bull centaurs that are built to dodge anything because he took mighty blow over break tackle.
yeah,
And
that's
I'd
still a
I'd go with
quite
break tackle.
a debatable choice. Let's put it like that.
Well, most of the chav coaches that I know from the advice channel, through my time that I've been looking through it, have always told people, block and break tackle first 2 skills on bull centaurs because those guys are your, well, technically agility like players.
Yeah, they are the fast pieces. You want to use them reactively to hunt down scoring threats or possibly the ball carrier. So you want to keep them mobile and not have them based up by a skeleton or a hobgoblin or a loner woodrelf.
Yeah, uh, it's an okay team.
Yeah, and let's say it that way because next week McNaughton will be playing against Yazinde. And McNaughton is on the quest to kill Fluffy Bunny, and he should definitely have the tools to do so in his team.
Yep,
He
I believe
doesn't
so.
have a tech. He has lots of tech. I forgot about that, but he he has the tool he needs to kill her.
Yeah, and he has. I'd buy another hobgoblin just to have a peasant that will hit the witch elf when she's on the ground,
Yeah,
just to try and kill her better.
against elves, if you have those cheap linemen, you definitely want to foul the people you can knock down, because the elves probably won't give you many blocks. So
Yeah.
I would recommend to pick up another hobgoblin for this match.
Oh, look at this. Ratsta is in the chat. Well, seeing as you're in the chat, you can like be last that we review. Let's go to Yacinda.
Swaho is being very nice as always.
And let's see that Fluffy Bunny has rolled a movement. Oh my god, Michael. What's happening? He rolled a movement. And, well, as a person that has a movement 8 Witch Elf, I rarely actually notice. I notice it when I'm trying to one turn, but Dark Elves are such a, race that where even one turning is a chore. It's such a chore, and I'm re-rolling my Dark Elves for next season, seeing as that I lost my Mighty Blow Piling On guy. But Yacinda has started with really, really good and really, I'd say, lucky setups and doubles, and he has a decent record of 4-1-3, and well, he's still fighting for that top spot. And I think that Yacinda could actually win this one if Herringzord loses at least one match.
I'm pretty surprised that you still haven't mentioned that he got a fresh edgy up on his Witch Elf after the last match.
Yeah, he did get an agility up, but it's going to be so disgusting later on when he actually gets blocked. So I contain myself a little bit, McNaughton. If I was you, I'd keep myself at check, and I'd actually go for that agility elf because Rose is currently a bigger threat than Fluffy Bunny, and probably will be later on as well, especially for you because you have armor 8 almost across the whole board, so you don't have a lot of things to worry about. But when it comes to Yacinda's team, seeing as that you have tackle and mighty blow and fast pieces in the bull centaurs, so I just try to control it and try to kill at least one of the witch elves.
Well, just kill anyone you can get your hands on. I wouldn't be choosing there because any target here on this team is a good target. Maybe not the
Yeah,
lineman or the lone lineman, but every positional is a good target to kill.
especially escape artists. Like, that guy's crazy. Escape artist is really crazy.
Yeah, even Flaming Fire Breather is disgusting because he also rolled a double. I mean, I think Yacinda at this point has rolled more doubles and setups than normal level ups.
Yeah, he has 6 normal level ups,
6 normal
and
and
he has
6
one,
doubles and
two, three,
skill
four,
ups.
five. Yep. So it's completely equal, and I don't remember that being a statistical norm, but okay. Yacinda has faced Angels of Lilith this week and has had a draw.
Well, he did get quite a lot of SPP out of this. So did Angels of Lilith. Uh, give me a moment. We'll just move on. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna go over it until he comes back. So Fluffy Bunny got 11 SPP and Rose got 3, so I guess Rose touchdown, unless she cast past. And the Fluffy Bunny is in a really, really big spree of getting SPP. I guess she got pissed off or something like that. So let's look at Fluffy Bunny. And well, Fluffy Bunny in this game survived the fireball, rolled 2 1s, and that's that failed dodge that she has, and rolled 0 6s, which is actually quite interesting, to be honest. Well, if you ask me, Fluffy Bunny, in this game, I really don't know, like, how much of an like she had a huge impact. So I guess that she did a lot of things. Well, let's see. Okay, yeah, 3 injuries inflicted. I call that Fluffy Bunny did them all, but I'm not really going to go in that deep. But yeah, Fluffy Bunny did quite some work here.
Yeah, I agree. And well,
MVP and possibly 3 casualties.
it seems so. I believe he didn't score with Fluffy Bunny, so that's most likely the reason for those 11 SBP. Well, this team is looking really good. I wouldn't want to play them. So, shall we have a look at the Angels of Lilith?
Yep, sure. Sorry, I was blowing my nose there. I'm a bit hit by allergies these days. Angels of Lilith are starting to try and rebuild their team, but whoa, would you look at that? They are not doing well at that.
Yeah, the Leap Vampire took an armor bust.
Who would have thought?
Well, Leap is a great skill.
Yeah, on Kislev.
Ah, he's trying stuff, he's having fun with his team.
You don't have Fallen in Blood Bowl.
You
That's
don't?
against the rules. No, and well, it looks like his thralls had quite some fun, seeing as that he failed only 3 out of 35. No, 41 bloodlusts. So yeah, only 3. Okay. 50% armor breaks, quite nice. Had more success than failures. Whoa, okay. His injury table seems quite okay. Dodges worked okay, above average, and going for it worked below average. Hypno gaze, whatever.
Well, what's a bit surprising to me is that he only used it 3 times during a complete game, which is really low for
Yeah,
vampires in my opinion,
I've,
because Hypnotic Gaze is one of the best tools you have available to you.
yeah, but I think that he went. No, he didn't. He went into the game with 3 vampires, right? I believe.
Maybe 4, I'm not
No,
sure.
no, yeah, 4 vampires, but I think that one was missing the game. The
That
piling on dude or somebody.
could
I
very
don't
well be
remember.
true. But
Yeah,
still,
and
with
the
3
tackle.
vampires, you should use
Yeah,
Hypnogaze a little more often than 3 times, in my opinion.
yeah, especially like if you don't have anything to do, Hypnogaze just makes the game really more in your favor than not. Even especially like when you're on defense, because vampires aren't that good on offense, but on defense Hypno Gaze just breaks the cage, and then you can get a 2 dice with a vampire onto a ball carrier absolutely every time. Oh well, most of the time.
Well, I guess you can just try to leap in instead, but
Well, he tried and he succeeded in not doing that. But let's see. Okay, so Angels of Lilith and Witchcraft, they went 1-1, and well, Professor Parakeet's Pets lost to United Scarab Emirates, and the Highland Avengers lost 1-0 to the team of Pirate EJ back to square one, which leaves us with 2 more games. And let's go with Dazzle Waxtus, who managed to win and thus put down the they finally went over Goblins and Chaos Dwarfs. Congratulations. So Organized Crisis. He must be in amazing joy.
Well,
especially taking diving tackle.
and
What the
his
hell?
team isn't even looking that bad anymore. If you would get rid of the troll and the goblin, who are armor busted and niggled, and get a lineman instead, this would actually be a decent orc team.
Yeah, the troll is really bloating the team up. The goblin is bloating the team up. The thrower is doing absolutely nothing now that he has an agility blitzer. The diving tackle black orc could have just been a dodge or just be sane and take block, I guess. But even diving tackle ain't that bad, in my opinion. But just like sticking to the normal skills for black orcs, in my opinion, kind of is better if you ask me.
Yeah, they work similarly to the Soros of the Lizardmen, who usually
They,
early on just skip the doubles.
yeah, they have a really similar role, especially like I'd say that they are the most similar to Nurgle. And Nurgle's like they are basically same stat line as Nurgle's warriors, and well, you don't really go with doubles on Nurgle warriors unless they're like after block, after guard. I'd maybe take it before guard, but usually you are quite not interested in doubles, in my opinion, seeing as that even with normals, you just get a monster of a team. And like block, mighty blow, guard, tackle, stand firm, all normal skills, grab, really good skills on Black Orcs.
Well, I guess one thing he has going for him is that his opponents probably won't expect it. So it's quite possible that they could just miss that the Black Orc has diving tackle, and through that lose a reroll, for example. But it's probably still not worth to pick it as a first level up on a Black Orc.
Yeah, but when you see that, okay, he has one double skill, well, I mean, he has dodge, but okay, he has skill on a Black Orc and it's diving tackle. I'd personally just check every turn, is that the Black Orc with diving tackle? Just
Well,
say,
if it's a tense game and you're running a bit out of time, I mean, that's hard with 4 minute turns, but it's still a possibility. But I see what you mean.
and they won their game this week against the Gobble Dobbles,
Yeah,
and 17 SPP with the MVP on the Black Orc. Statistic-wise, he basically steamrolled through the game. 56 blocks to 20 blocks, 5 KOs to 0, 2 casts to 0. Uh, well, at least no passing. And yeah, unlike Radsta, he didn't pass and he won his game against the Goblins.
you
Uh,
won't let Radsta forget about that game, do you?
as long as he is in chat, I'll keep mentioning that. Every now and then. But okay, I mean, yeah, he's still here. Ha ha ha. Yeah, I mean, just the domination of orcs, I guess. Like all orcs dominating the field, and that's it. The Wegstars actually had 12 ones. They failed a loner, they failed a throw teammate, so I guess that combo didn't work out again. They did manage to go always hungry though. Like they managed to surpass always hungry, and really stupid wasn't that big of a roll. It was completely average. Yeah, it was just a decent rolling of dice for the Dazzle Stars versus the Goblins, and well, with decent dice, Orcs are technically the better greenskins in that matchup. So let's just see how Toskai is dealing with his loss.
Well, those are quite a few dodges he rolled. Are you
Yeah.
still looking at the statistics? 35 dodges that succeeded and 22 dodges that failed. Oof.
The goblins, right?
Yeah,
Whoa, 35 and 22. It's actually like so close to being statistically accurate. But yeah, like one dodge more succeeded would be just hitting the mark, I guess. Armor breaks, well, okay. Injuries, okay. Um, he passed always hungry, so that's good for his goblins. He actually succeeded on throwing his teammates, and well, yeah, it was just a really decent game, if you ask me. He had actually the average really stupid rolls. Even though it's 79, it's really average because it's what 81. Who gives a damn? And yeah, I think that he had a decent game, but like, yeah, those dodges were a bit rough on him. But I think that he will have a decent. He had a decent match, in my opinion. 2-1, so I guess that the throw with teammate worked for the touchdown, and yeah, that's all that matters, I guess, for the Goblins.
Ratsta is pointing out that one of his bribes failed, which is really bad for goblins. But overall, I think it came down to uh, the Gobbleboners having to roll way more dice than the orcs, and if you roll dice, you will at some point fail something, and that's always not optimal.
Yeah. Um. Just a shout out, by the way. Avicii died while we were recording. So if any of you Avicii fans are out there, like, sorry for your loss. He's a DJ, in case you don't know. Okay, let's continue, I guess. The Goblin team really doesn't have anything.
Yeah, I don't think anything changed. Did the Fnatic have Mighty Blow already?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, then I think
He
nothing
got it
changed
last
here.
week. He got it last week, and I think that maybe he got sidestep on the dude. Yeah, the dude was leveled up. Timo was leveled up, so I guess that he got sidestep on him. But like, yeah, that's really nothing special. And this team is really nothing special, even though they're goblins. But they are doing decently, I guess, for goblins. With technically looking at it, 2 wins because of the 3 draws. But yeah, it's goblins.
Yeah, not too much to say here. I mean, the Agility 4 Goblin is still really useful, but he had this guy for a while. So, yeah, we only have one game left for Division 6C, and it's between the Radsta and the Revenge of the Power Up and the Pampleford Parakeets coach by Anderson. Let's start with Anderson's team.
Yeah, Anderson. Okay, Father Anderson, let's see what you got for us this week. Every week that we look at Father Anderson's team, his team gets better, and this is the first time that I've seen it in shambles. But then again, I look at it quite closely, and I see 2 claws and a touchdown away to level up and maybe get another claw.
Well, what really hurts him is that Merlin, his Agility 4 Hobgoblin, got a nickel. You
Oh,
don't
whoa.
like to see that.
No, you do not. And yeah, that's a big, big deal. Like, that guy was bloating him up a bit, and now he's bloating him again.
Well, for now, I probably still keep him because he is still quite a good ball carrier. And in general, you do keep your ball carrier safe, so you don't give up many blocks on him.
Yep, that's true. But excuse me. The team is quite well built, if you ask me. Like they're getting themselves really well built, and yeah, I'd keep him. I'd keep him. Niggle doesn't affect his performance, seeing as that you should probably keep him safe, and he is your ball carrier, and you should bench him. And when we're talking about bench, I just get another one for the bench because you're going into the game with two loners. I'd keep the two loners in. Maybe one of them levels up, and then buy that loner if he gets an MVP or level up or whatever. You know?
Yeah, I wouldn't get a Hobgoblin now. If there's an MVP on one of them, you can still think of picking one up. I personally don't like that because loners have terrible names, and just because of that, don't deserve to play for a real team.
Well, not all loners have terrible names, I guess, but if you say so, I mean Norse loners have quite cool names.
Well, I play Lizardmen, and have you seen the generated names for Lizardmen?
Not like skinks. Who gives a damn? Just recycle them.
Well, I don't like to have unnamed players, and that's why I don't like to buy loners. I mean, there's a
Eh,
reason why they were loners.
yep,
But we're getting a bit
yep.
off topic. In general, this Chaos Dwarf team is looking quite a bit better than McNaughton's team, but it has been for a while that way.
Yeah.
So, I mean, overall, it's still McNaughton who's picking up the results because the Pamperford Parakeets again lost their match.
Yeah, and that seems to be the norm to say week in, week out. But I guess that, like, he's going to have the next season really, really well. He's going to play the next season really, really well, I feel. Because, well, when he's in this season, he's against Kedrus, he's against Herringzor, he's against Pyro, he's against Yas, he's against Rasta, he's against Toskai, who beat Rasta, and all of them are really, really good coaches. And then there's Donkey Dragon or Chris and McNaughton, but whatever.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm at the moment having a closer look at the statistics of the match that got played, and it seems pretty even overall. They have about the same amount of blocks, KOs, and injuries are pretty even. Possession is fairly even. It seems like both of them had a pretty equal drive, but the problem for the Pamperford Parakeets is that they didn't manage to score, unlike the Revenge of the Power Up.
yeah.
And that's always a problem.
Well, that usually loses you the game, or makes it a draw. But like then your opponent shouldn't score if you're aiming for that. And yeah, let's see how the other division is doing, and skip over Radsta.
No, we don't skip over Radsta. We aren't mean.
Oh, okay. So, yes, Metal got hurt. Oh, it's just a miss next game.
Whoa,
Too
he
bad.
has two agility beastmen now.
And well, he has sure hands, and he has two agility beastmen, and he has claw before mighty blow. Strategic advantage right there. And he still didn't level up his dodge beastman, and nor his chaos warrior. But his team is looking like he's trying to elf it up a bit. But yeah, it's working, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to elf it up if you just roll the extra agilities.
Yep. And he's doing that.
Well, he didn't throw a single pass in his last game, which is a bit disappointing. I still believe his brother played for him. because that's always for me the indicator. If he failed a few passes, then it was him playing. If he didn't, it was his brother.
Yep. Yep. And, well, we've seen his brother win his matches quite a while now. And I guess that his brother still plays his matches, seeing as that he started finally winning the important matches, unlike the match with the Goblins. And, yeah,
Yeah,
he's doing quite well
he has now
for
4
himself.
wins in a row, and he managed to tie with Herringsword. So he's overall in a really good position for that playoff spot. Shall we have a look at the leaderboard?
Yeah, sure. The leaderboard, well, when you don't look at Wood Elves winning and Necro losing this week, Kedgerus would be second, and Pyro TJ would be tied for, well, he would be fourth, actually. So, yeah. So, if we're looking at it like that, it would be Herringsword. It would be Herringsword on top. Keji and Rasta are tied for second place, and Pyro TJ is technically third or fourth. Well, depends how you look at it. So that would be the top 4 players of the division.
Yeah, it will definitely be an interesting race for the playoff spot, and even more so because we have a Swiss tournament in the end. So we won't know who's playing who. We will probably know that if 2 of the coaches win their first 3 matches, it will come to a final showdown because they will have the same record.
Yeah, a thinking emoji. Well, I guess that the bottom of the table is quite locked, if you ask me.
Yeah, I doubt Anderson will make a bit strive towards the top.
So this is the last week, per se.
Yeah, it's the last week of the regular season for them.
Yeah, they have 10. Actually, 9. 9 games, yeah. Which is okay, I guess. This is the last one. Anderson could win this week and tie with Orcs Organized Crisis for 8th. And Goblins, if they win, they are 7th.
Yeah, and the important thing, if they win, they aren't in a bad space for the Stanti Cup. So they could theoretically still try to qualify.
Yep. And then we see Yas here. Yas could as well. I mean, if he wins his match this week, he's just tied with Necromantic.
Yeah,
So
I basically
he's
think the top 5 players here in the league table could all make the playoff spot. I doubt McNorton will get it. I also doubt the Vampires will get it, and the rest is just. I mean, I think it will
No,
be between
this
the.
is the
We,
this is the last week, right?
yeah, and then there comes the Swiss, and the playoff spot will come out of the combined record of the Swiss and the.
Okay.
So
And this week's last matches are Weird Witchcraft versus Highland Avengers. So we have McNaughton and him facing off. So yeah, actually, if McNaughton wins that one, he goes over Yacinda.
well, the big term here is if. And as we are taking about next week's game, let's move on to the predictions.
Okay. So we of course have to jump over Keji's match and Pyro TJ's, but
Well, I
United
think
Emirates.
Pyro TJ will win that one.
Really? I'm putting my bet on Kejerus. I believe the Kejerus is not going to go on a 2-week losing spree.
Yeah, because who would
And
have
carry it.
expected that?
And carry it into the later weeks and have a 3 or 4 week losing streak. You don't know. Um,
Well,
well, let's be real now.
to the
Uh,
matches who have been played, the United Scarab Camerids against the Gobble Bonus.
yeah, Camry
I agree. Herringsword has been playing well, has been controlling his games well. I don't.
has a mighty blow piling on tackle.
Yeah, I think goblins will get hurt. I mean,
Yeah,
the good
let's
thing is that the Camry won't do a quick score and get rid of the secret weapons of the goblins, but they would really need the fanatic and the chainsaw to do work here.
yeah. Weird Witchcraft versus the Highland Avengers.
Well, I'm gonna say I'm gonna give it to Weird Witchcraft with a dead Fluffy Bunny. I believe in McNaughton that way.
Yeah, I'm also going to give it to Weird Witchcraft, although I really hope in a way that the Highland Avengers win. But I'm betting on Weird Witchcraft because if the Highland Avengers win and if they kill Fluffy Bunny, they would push Yacinda back. They would push Yacinda back even like farther down the list, and even if Angels of Lilith win, we could see Yas be. No, actually, we can see Yas be sixth.
Well,
And who wouldn't want him sixth?
the interesting thing here about this match is they have a bet going between them, and I think if McNaughton manages to kill Fluffy Bunny, Yacinda will be forced to reroll, and if he doesn't, McNaughton will be forced to reroll. Now, the odds are probably in favor of Yacinda, but I would put it that way, McNaughton doesn't really have a good team to lose here. He hasn't picked up that much development yet, while Yacinda's team is looking amazing. So
Yeah,
it will be
and then
quite interesting to see what comes out of that.
and then we get the Pamphlet Parakeets versus the Angels of Lilith, and I'm really hoping that Anderson wins this one. So I'm going to say that Anderson's gonna win this one.
Well, I'm gonna go with what the history of this team has taught us, and I'm gonna give it to the Angels of Lilith.
Okay, and now there's the Wexters versus Revenge of Europe.
Well, Radsta has been on quite a winning streak, but the Orcs managed to pick up their own wins, so
Yeah,
it's a tricky one. I'm probably gonna give it to. I'm gonna say it's a draw here. I'm gonna go with the draw.
and I'm going to give it to Revenge of Power Up because if they win, they can actually go and be the first after this.
Yeah, but I think it will be too much pressure for poor Radsta, or for poor Radsta's brother, and he will stumble. And who else to stumble against than the Orcs, who didn't have the season they wanted to?
Yup. And I guess that closes up the Division 6C.
Yeah, I think so. I think we can now move on to Division 6D. Now, let's have a look at the schedule. I believe the last game just got played today, and that was Jimmy against the Victims of the Sun. And a few hours later, Jimmy played again. And because he wanted to
Against Skillopens.
play so quick, he probably got to lose. I only saw the second half of that game, and that was Jimmy hiding his players after he received a beating.
Yep. And well, let's go back in time. Just like what was it, like 24 hours ago? Okay. So the Clockmore Rams won their match against the Kingslayers. The Asilius Bleeds actually tied with Hollywood Martial Law. The Imperishable Four defeated the Stumpy Stabbers. Okay. The Bash Buddies lost to Flylord's Servants. The 187s lost to the Crematorium Crew. Victims of the Sun lost to Team Fantastic. And Ain't Cood in the North actually tied versus Skelepuns Incorporated.
Well, thanks for reading out the results. I'm sure the viewers will be happy about that. Let's move on to the fourth team. Shall we start out with Baltimore Rams,
Yeah, sure.
our favorite Swans team?
And the Baltimore Rams, who won this week's game 3-0. So the Baltimore Rams have Claw on the Minotaur, have a Mighty Blow Beastman, have gotten themselves movement and diving tackle.
Yeah, let's just ignore the disgusting Beastmen we have also there, because I think I made myself quite clear last week.
Yeah, and he's 3 SPP away from leveling up. Like, nasty. That's really just nasty.
Well, I think the whole team of Hut is quite nasty to play against.
Yep, that's also true. That's also true. But Hut faced off and won 3-0 versus the Kingslayers, who aren't doing that well. So let's just look at that statistic.
Well, what's
that they are
interesting is the blocks were quite even, despite being it being a quite clear win for the Chaos team.
Yeah, but he did have more luck with the blocks because 2 kills, 5 KOs, like
Yeah, it definitely.
2
definitely.
injuries. 2 injuries resulted in 2 kills, and 5 KOs in 30 blocks, and he had how many? 13 armor breaks to 8. Well, that's 5 armor breaks more, and he had 5 blocks more. Now, that's kind of silly, but it's okay, I guess. Like, it happens.
Well, the Kingslayers do have less armor value overall,
Yep.
so it's not
That's
that
true.
unexpected.
That's true. That's true. But like, they do have block, claw, mighty blow, dude, to even it up a bit.
Well, let's see. Let's see if I can find the Kingslayers to have a closer look at their team. Well, what's left of the team?
Yeah, the Kingslayers have week in, week out, have just had a worse and worse team every single week.
Well,
And now they've lost a thrower.
Thrower died.
And a goblin.
Well, who cares about the goblin?
Yeah, I mean, he has one. So the sole survivor is Vlado. And, well, he has 0 SPP, so he isn't really doing much, even though he's just surviving. He's 3 SPP away from leveling up his agility. He has that killer that's hopefully going to level up soon and get something very nice for himself. Yeah.
I mean, it's still not a bad team Kingsley Spartacus has over here.
Absolutely not. Like, Sparkles has, if you ask me, a really good team in progress of being built. He just got the troll back with the money. And, well, yeah, like, it is beaten up. It is bashed down. His stat line is kind of terrible, but it's Underworld. He
Yeah.
can't really have golden stat lines or anything on Underworld. They're not really a team that's really built about that, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's true. His overall record is definitely showing that Underworld aren't the best team in a league format like this, but there are players who definitely make it work. So basically, what I'm saying is, try again next season. You have good players you can use. You definitely can win games. Don't give up.
Yeah, I'd give the same advice. Like, just don't give up and just play your games till the end. And, well, it's gonna work out for you. You don't have that bad of a team, and you aren't that bad of a coach. Like, you're doing well. I mean, stat line not really, but you're doing well mentally and staying in the battle.
Now let's have a look at the Hollywood Martian Law caused by Falkenberg, because they do have quite some nice players. One specifically is a bit jumping out. Did you spot who I mean?
What?
At
Who? Where?
Hollywood Martial Law, there's a certain lineman who just jumps at you.
Although, like, if you ask me, it's redundant. He's already leaping on a 2+.
Yeah, but now he can do stupid dodges and pickups after he jumps.
That is true. But, I mean, I just like their linemen to be like that, I guess. Different, in a way. Just like stackers and stuff. Not really agility monsters, because they're really not supposed to be agility monsters.
Yeah, but well, if Nuzzle comes and says this guy gets to be a agility monster, who are you to turn it down? I mean, Nuzzle doesn't usually give away setups, and he certainly doesn't like it when you don't take them if you have the chance.
Yeah, that is true. He is vicious when it comes to that.
Now, I think
And
his spear has now one game under his belly. It seems like he did stun 2 players, but nothing too major.
yeah, nothing really important happening there.
The Falkenberg only he managed to get a draw against the Auxilia of Blades, our Dark Elf team, and Alona stole the MVP. That's always hurts.
Well, if anything, I'm really glad to see a Facilious Blaze actually somewhat like getting decent results and performing, because I started like showing the dude a bit around the Dark Elves and around the game and helping him out. Gave him some tips, basics mostly, not really something major, but he went from losing to getting draws, I guess, and wins. I believe that he won last week.
Well, if we have a closer look at the statistics are fairly one-sided. Falkenberg had 20 more blocks, had 75% ball possession, had the KOs and injuries in his favor.
Yeah, and he just played elf. He just played elf. He didn't really care about it, about the pluses and minuses and stuff like that. He didn't care about it, and he just won the game. He played elf. I mean, he draw the game, but with with those stats, it's basically like winning, if you ask me.
Yeah, definitely can't complain with that stat line there. Shall we have a closer look at the Dark Elves? How are they looking now?
Well, they're not looking anything special, if you ask me. They're still the same. They just suffered a missingness game on alignment. Basically, they're close. I told him to like save up last week to save up for the blitzer. I guess he's saving up for another blitzer, and that then he should focus on leveling up his witchel. I mean, in the while, like just like at the moment, focus on leveling up the witch elf, focus on leveling up the other blitzer, and like lay low with the linemen, because linemen are decent enough even without these levels, if you ask me.
Well, you can't prevent the linemen from stealing the MVP, as they often do, as it happened in his last game. But we will see where he goes with this team. I mean, it's not the perfect Dark Elf team. The one we watched earlier in Divisional 6C certainly looked a bit better, but they
A bit?
also, yeah, a bit, a tiny bit.
Yeah, just a tiny bit better. But they also played Greenhorn, and they also being by somebody who I'd say is quite a better coach of at least of elves, because I don't know this man's other teams, but I'd say that he's a bit better elf coach. Yas is than
Yeah,
uh,
it's quite a tough task to
Caracas.
compare yourself to a player like Yacinde, who is pretty good at this game.
Yep, and but he's doing really okay, if you ask me.
Yeah,
He isn't really doing that bad.
nothing to
Two
look
one
down on.
five, 215 for a new coach in a division uh, with Jimmy, and I'd even say HUD, and I'd say Berserk and Cyber Knight isn't something to be ashamed of. And Buffer T Justice, of course, because Buffer T Justice is pounding everybody in.
Well, who I want to have a look at next is the Stumpy Stabbers. It's a Chaos Dwarf team coached by EVLM. They do
Okay.
have a quite nice looking jersey. I appreciate the jersey. They look amazing.
Yep. And their team doesn't. They have a Minotaur, the first thing that I dislike on a Chaos Dwarf team,
Yeah,
and they
I
have Strip
think we
Ball.
stumbled across that fact last week because they were around last week.
Yep.
We
Uh,
also didn't really like the strip ball on the Chaos Dwarf blocker.
but I like the block. Or the
That's
Wolf
true.
Centaur. I mean, not much to take, but okay.
He should also invest his money in a apothecary because you really want to have an apothecary.
That is true. You should probably get an apothecary. I mean, he got a lot of money and he just kept buying players. What he should probably be. And he has only 5 Chaos blockers. He even got like a lot of money from concedes to get. Well, he got enough money to get a team of 3 rerolls, an apothecary, and 6 of these, but he spent it on. But he spent quite a lot on the Minotaur.
Okay, it seems like the game didn't get played because I'm looking at the statistics right now and there are no blocks and stuff, so it seems
Yeah,
like a
and
concede win, which is
yep.
unfortunate, but it is what it
Uh-huh.
is. And yeah, this Chaos Dwarf team can still certainly improve, especially if
Yep.
you play your games. No offense if something real life came in between, that always goes first.
Yeah.
But it's
And
tough to
now
say too much. Now,
the Imperishable 4.
I would cover Fernlow first because he got the concede win. Let's just have a quick look at his team and then we can look at T Justice.
Okay, then who got it? But okay. The Imperishable 4. I was just. Okay.
I think that
Yeah,
Imperfect 4 got the concede win. And if we look at the team, they do have quite a bit of Mighty Blow there.
yep. They're starting to stack it up. They're starting to stack it up. And they are going with the same tactics as I told Herringsor to go with the new throw raw and attempting to score with it, but like of course not playing the game could lead to not scoring at all.
Yeah, he did get 2 MVPs and a touchdown, so he got some out of SPP out of this. He maybe could have gotten more if he actually played the game, but well, it is what it is. You definitely take the concede win, I think. And his overall record is definitely not bad. 5 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss. That's quite good.
Yep.
Now, you wanted to cover our leader of the division, still undefeated, 8 wins out of 8 games.
8 out of 8, mate. might blow piling on. Dirty player, guard, I guess. But like it's working.
Yeah,
It's really working,
the
and
development still isn't amazing, but he keeps on winning. He keeps on winning against good opponents, not only the not so great opponents. Nothing against those, of course, but there are some skill differences, and he managed to beat Team Fantastic. He managed to beat them Perishable 4, gave them their only loss, and they still haven't conceded a single touchdown.
yep.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like they're doing the best out of basically, I think, every division.
Yeah, Organized Crisis, you are too late for Division 6C, but I will put it on YouTube afterwards so you can have a look at your shiny orcs.
Yeah.
Now, who did they play against? They played against the 187s, and I talked to the coach of the 187s after the game. He wasn't too happy with the result. There were a few key things that went wrong. He
Oh,
also had didn't have the best of dice, so
what happened?
well, let's see if I can find. Let's have a closer look at the team while I look if I can find the conversation I had with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have a look at the players. It will take a while until I find the right Discord message.
Okay, I'll take a look at his players and
Okay, now
say
I
that.
have it. Now, shut up.
Yeah, I was just about to say that I have nothing to look at because it's the same as last week.
Oh, that's true. Now, Mundingo was saying first half was alright, conceded on the last turn, could seem to make either Ghoul make a 3+ dodge to stop him. Second half started off well, then on turn 12 Blotch Ghoul took a hit and died, which is always unfortunate. Turn 13 he hit me with a fireball, injured the other Ghoul, ball went into touch and landed far side of the pitch in my area. Managed to recover but couldn't make a 3+ handoff, ball dropped and he recovered it and scored the 2-0.
Yeah, that sucks. But Buffer T just is 1-2-0.
Yeah.
He's not in his element of 1-0. I guess. And like, it sucks to lose. It's just stupid luck. And that's really tragic, but hell, I guess it happens to all of us.
Yeah, sadly what happens, as we are seeing, his Blotch Ghoul is missing now. And if we have a closer look at the statistics, Mundingo was also pointing out that he had quite bad luck with the armor breaks, unlike the Crematorium crew. So
he had 5 armor breaks to 12, and he had 36 blocks to 48. Yeah. And we've seen like people with 30 blocks have like at least 10 or something like that hits, you know? So yeah, I can see why he's feeling a bit robbed.
well, it was certainly a nice game for the Crematorium crew HP-wise, but yeah, well, if the dice aren't with you, most of the times there's little you can do. And then if key moments also go wrong, there's nothing you can do. I mean, I don't want to take it away from the Crematorium crew, but sometimes games are just unwinnable.
Yeah, and the Crematorium crew is really cashing in on those games, if you ask me. I don't believe that 8 games in a row were like that, but we at least had 3 people say that it was like that.
Yeah, for such a record and not a single conceded touchdown, there definitely is some luck involved. I mean, it shows that he is a skilled player, because otherwise you wouldn't get such a record. but you would need some luck to help you out on the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And you always do need it, if you ask me. You can't just go in blinding, like, just skill based and everything, because the game itself isn't just skill based, it's luck based as well. So that's the thing.
Well, who managed to take a good turn of luck is Ant-Man, because he managed to get a win. Nurgle got another win. Let's have a look at
Yeah.
his team.
Okay, Flaglord Servants and Nurgle, and I guess the tackle helped him beat the Berserker team.
Yeah, I think he maybe got another Nurgle warrior leveled up. Otherwise, the team hasn't changed much.
Yeah, he got another Nurgle warrior level because I think that he got the MVP on the Nurgle warrior.
Well, he got the MVP after you already leveled him, which is always what happens. You try to level up a player for weeks.
The SPP count. That's just true.
And the SPP count definitely isn't bad. It seems like he managed to score on a Nurgle warrior.
Yeah, and that's always key. But it's so one-sided.
Yeah, I'm looking at the statistics right now. 51 blocks to 20, 6 KOs, 4 injuries. Seems like quite a dicing there. I mean, little you can do. I mean, he even has 7 KOs sustained, so Deathlore claimed another KO. A rough game for the Bash Buddies.
Yeah, absolutely a rough game for the Bash Buddy. Kermit the Frog, okay, he got a level up with that. I'm going to look at him in a moment, but now it's just like the team had. I just want to say that his Pestigore is 2 SPP from leveling, and the Nurgle Warrior is 3 SPP from leveling, and if those two level, this team is really, really awesome.
Well,
if you ask me,
I think they both have been at this point for quite some time. Because
not really.
No,
because
okay, that Pestigore wasn't, but he always had players who are really close to leveling up for like the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's true, but they all leveled up because, well, almost all of them, not really the Rotters, but whatever. But the Pestigore wasn't this close, and the Nurgle Warrior just got this close because he got an MVP and he got, I guess, a touchdown in the last game, and now he's on 13.
Yeah, overall, this team is definitely shaping up. What record is he now at Ant-Man? Is it a 3 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses? That's great for Nurgle.
Yeah, that's absolutely great for Nurgle. And also he had, well, kind of a decent shot in next season. He didn't get a lot of levels like what's his face Anderson got, but he got enough levels, I guess, to like make it decent enough, I'd say, for the next season.
Yeah, he will definitely be in a decent position for the next season. And now let's have a look at his opponent, the Bash Buddies.
Yeah, Berserk leveled up, but he didn't level up yet. But at least he's close to it. Like, I guess he's going to level him up soon. That's probably going to be Mighty Blow or Tackle.
Now, I guess the good thing to say, it doesn't seem like there were any permanent injuries on the Necro side, which is at least one good thing after dicing like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, but like the team is yet again, I'm going to say, so close to a lot of level ups that it isn't like something he should be used to me saying.
Yeah, he will be definitely in a way better spot as soon as both those Flash Golems manage to pick up their level. Then his team will be in a much, much better spot. But
Absolutely.
overall, it's still not looking bad. He has a Mighty Blow Werewolf. You always want those as a Necro coach. And he has a decent ball carrier Ghoul. He has another block tackle Werewolf. I think there's nothing to complain about here.
Nope.
And his,
The only thing that I could complain about is please get a touchdown on Snoop Dogg.
well, or just 2 injuries. Whatever works.
Yep. Whichever one you prefer.
Now, who do we have next? Shall we take a look at Cyber Knight's teams? We didn't cover Cyber Knight yet.
Yeah, sure, let's go. Cyber Knight.
The beat
And
up
his
Bretonians.
Yeah, the broken up Bretonians who got a strength up.
Well, the strength up is definitely nice. I don't think it salvages the team, but it's nice.
It's absolutely nice. I mean, it doesn't, as you said, it doesn't really save the team from anything, but it really helps to have it there as a possibility of a really badass sacker.
Very true. Well, he did lose against Team Fantastic. Oh, just look at the armor breaks. 20 armor breaks for Team Fantastic and only 3 for the Victims of the Sun.
Ah, too bad, too bad. But that's something that happens, I guess, in that matchup more than he'd like it to happen. But it
Yeah.
does.
I mean, it's definitely an expected result. The speed up Bretonians team like that doesn't stand that much of a chance against a, well, quite deadly Chaos team if it goes well. And it seems like
Yep,
it did go well. 5 KOs, 5 injuries, 1 kill.
that's true.
Quite some nice SPP for Jimmy there.
Yeah, Jimmy really took it home. The kill and the injuries and everything. But at least he didn't fail Dauntless. And the bribe actually worked, oh my god.
Amazing.
Yep. I mean, nothing really to say about this team. Statistic-wise, 314 isn't bad because he's playing with this.
Yeah, for this team, that's definitely a great record. But I'm pretty sure Cyber Knight will reroll after the season.
Yep, I'm also sure. Somebody who won't probably re-roll after this season is Jimmy Fan Fucking Tastic, who has still the Killy team on his side, basically spamming a lot of kill stuff all around the board.
Well, but we see that this way of building your team can backfire because against the Camry this week, he didn't get the injuries he needed. Quite the opposite. The Camry got the injuries, and it basically was over after the first half.
Yep. And, well, like, it's usual like that, to be honest, for Chaos. Chaos usually are on the side of, well, we're either going to be the probably top team of the game, one of the top teams of the game, or we're going to be completely useless and our claws never going to work, our mighty blows never going to work. We have little to no ball handling ability unless we use our skill ups on skills that we don't really like because we like powing stuff. And yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, and Jimmy also mentioned that he is not getting a ball carrier, a designated ball carrier on purpose because he wants to spread the SPP on multiple pieces and not have all the touchdowns on one. Which
That's actually really, really, really smart if you ask me.
it's smart for the long term. It's maybe not optimal if you're looking to perform this season because a good ball carrier could definitely help you win some games. more than
when
you otherwise wouldn't, but
when I look at his stats, he could still win the league if Buffer T Justice starts losing stuff a bit. But
well, 603, you. I'm not sure if that's enough to get first place.
yeah, that's true. But at least he has a team for next
Yeah,
season.
he will
That's
definitely be
going.
in a good spot next season, and I think he is aiming for like the third season to really be his season and use the first two to build up the team to get the SPP he needs to become one of those really annoying killer chaos teams.
Yep. And his team is really just the annoying killer chaos team that we all know and hate and play at times. If you're me. But yeah, I prefer Nurgle over Chaos, and unfortunately, not many people do because Nurgle is quite more dull if you ask them. But at least they're having fun with their little chaos toys.
Well, sure, you can build them like Redster does and just pick up dodge first on everybody if you can, but that's not the usual way to build.
Dodge and agility, dodge and agility. All you need is dodge and agility.
Well, let's have a look at Palmus team, who just a few hours ago beat Team Fantastic.
Yeah, he annihilated Team Fantastic, brought them down to the ground, and pummeled them there. And well, like the team isn't really looking that amazing, but he does have a throw raw with agility up and no pass skill and a block on it. Oh no, that's a blitz raw that's turned into a throw raw.
Well, you take that as Camry, you take every agility up you can get because you don't have any.
Yep.
And well, I think there hasn't too much changed from last time we looked at this team.
Nope,
The Tomb
not much.
Guardians are still lagging a bit behind. He has quite a lot of his SPP on skeletons, which is a bit unfortunate, but it's what happens.
Then collage. Yep, definitely. But his team is not looking well as the other team in this same division or as Herringsword's team, but it's actually showing results, I guess.
Yeah, a
And
4-3-2 record isn't something you look down on. That's pretty good for Camry, and overall not bad.
yeah,
Now, the week before, he did play against Ain't Cold in the North. He managed to get a draw. Let's have a look at that game.
yep, ain't it cold in the north?
Now, 42 to 42 blocks. The injuries and armor breaks have been on the side of the Camry with 4 KOs and 2 injuries to only 1 injury.
Which isn't odd, seeing as that, like, yeah, these are globally armor 7.
But
Let's be real.
what's a bit odd is both teams managed to do a successful pass and a catch.
Well, yeah, that is quite odd for Camry at least, but like North can kind of throw it around, not really that efficiently, but not really that bad either.
Yeah, that's true. With the agility 3, you can definitely do stuff, but it's still not something you see that often.
Yeah, and well, if you look at Ain't It Cold in the North, you see that he's starting to take fend on his lineman, a dirty player on the lineman, and he has Blodge and he has second Berserker. So now he's full, and he can finally start up raking up some kills for the next season, y'all.
Well, I think it's quite an interesting choice to take 2 Fens this early on linemen.
Yeah, that is interesting, but like it isn't that
I
bad if
mean,
you ask me.
the linemen only have normal access, so I guess there's not that much else to pick, but a tackle would be nice to have, in my opinion.
The only thing that you really, yeah, tackle is probably the only thing that you really want, except for this, and maybe some utility skills like kick, and you never know. Like those skills are okay.
I mean, some people even pick shadowing on those linemen.
Yeah, that's true. Shadowing ain't that bad of a skill. If you ask me, it's annoying, and that's kind of what it is used for.
Yeah, and Norse linemen are one of the few pieces who actually you would actually take it on because most other pieces I had a discussion with Infinite Pink today, I think, about it in the Rookie League channel, and we came to the conclusion that it's just not worth to take it on most of the players, but on the Norse linemen, it's actually because they only do have normal access, not that bad of a pick because what are the alternatives? Fend, utility skills, tackle is okay, but
Tackle
shadow,
is probably the best skill that I have.
yeah, that's true.
And yeah, that's basically it. I mean, shadowing ain't that bad on them. And but you shouldn't really get it on everybody. You should look at it being like the second or third skill if you get there. And you could get there actually.
True. Now, I think this was the last team. Shall
Uh
we?
I believe so. We can
Hmm,
look at the leader. Okay, yes. Yeah, this is the last team. We'll look at the leaderboard now and see that not much have changed.
Now, what will be interesting to see if is Hut can manage to win, because if Hut doesn't manage to win, the crematorium crew will have quite a nice lead.
Yep, but
And
I believe in HUD.
yeah, I believe in Hut too. And Buford T Justice still has to play his game, so it's not over yet in Division 6-3, but he has quite a nice lead.
That is true.
Now,
And yeah,
the middle
they're
of the
doing well.
table is quite close. Lots of players only a few points apart. Uh,
That is true.
we do have a few bottom teams like the Stumpy Stabbers with their inherited record, or the Kingslayers, Ain't It Calling North, who well, haven't had that nice of a season. The Kislev haven't been having a great season. The Dark Elves are still new to the game, still learning stuff. So yeah, think it's a interesting division. Maybe we could hope for a bit more, a bit less points between first and second place, but I mean you can't have everything.
Yeah, that's true. But it's a decent. They're decently spread out, wins and losses and everything. And yeah, it isn't a bad division. There's more action in the other division, if you ask me. But this division has better scores and more people.
Yeah, more
So it's
people
all
is always nice.
yep.
Now, the last part left for this week's recap is the prediction part of the recap. So, what do
Yeah.
you think? Who will win? Skelepants Incorporated or Team Fantastic? Let's make that joke again.
Okay, let's not. Let's do it. Kingslayers versus Ain't It Cold in the North.
Oh, that's actually a tough matchup. In this case, I'm actually gonna give it to the Kingslayers. They do have quite nice positionals, and
And they do have Mighty Blow.
yeah, which can really hurt the North. Only armor value 7.
That's true. So I'm going with that, if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. Now we have the Victims of the Sun against the Crematorium Crew.
It's just gonna be Crematorium Crew.
I agree, Buford T. Justice hasn't been stopped yet. I doubt Cyber Knight will be the one to stop him. Maybe he can get the first score, but I doubt it will be enough to take the win or even the draw.
That is true.
Now, the 187s are playing against the Flylord Servants. Who do you think will win?
I believe the Flylord Servants won. They won their match versus Necro this week, and they're gonna do it.
I'm gonna say the 187s are gonna bounce back and get the win here. I hear you have some trouble with the allergies again.
Yeah, really a lot of them.
Well, I think the Wolves will do work against the Nurgle, and I'm gonna give it to the 187s.
Okay. We agree to disagree.
Yeah, as always. Now, the next Necro team, Bash Buddies against the Stumpy Stavars. I think I'm gonna use the same reasoning I used in the last game and give it to the Necro team again. I think the Claw will be quite useful against most of the pieces, and I think the Berserk will take it home.
Yeah, Berserk is probably gonna take it home if you ask me.
Now, what do you think about the Imperishable 4 against Hollywood Martial Law?
I think the Imperishable Force should probably win that game, if you ask me.
Yeah, should and will is always two different cases. Kislev can do quite well against Khemri if they don't get destroyed and killed. So I'm actually gonna say I give it a draw here. I think that Agility 5 piece will do work, and I think he will be able to manage to get the draw.
Yeah, a draw seems like the okay call for this matchup, so I'm also gonna go with the draw.
Now, your little pet, the Silly of Blades against the Clawtimber Rams, who are you going to give it to?
Clot Morans. Probably, yeah, probably HUD. Probably
Yeah,
HUD.
I'm gonna agree. HUD is still undefeated. I also would say if there's somebody who will beat Buford T. Justice, it will probably be HUD. And I doubt the Auxilia of Blades will have the tools available to deal with all the horns the Rams have. Yeah, and I think that's it. We covered everything. Even Roadster. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. I hope you find it interesting. And again, thanks for being here, Swaho. It was a pleasure as always.
Yep, same to you, man. And next week, let's hope to get somebody on here. And the person that I'd really, if he's still watching this deep into the stream, I'd like to see Buford T. Justice join us.
Well, he has declined an interview for the G manual, so I'm not sure if he's willing to, but we will see.
He might not have time. That's fair. He might not have time. But we'll see you again next week. My name has been Swaho.
And I'm Hindus, and thanks for joining us. See you next week.
See ya.